Hello folks, welcome back to the Urban Rider Studio, where today I have a brand new helmet to show you. This comes from the brand John Doe that we know and love. Big fan of their clothing in general, but they've never made a helmet before. So with their first offering, I have to say they have come out swinging. If I was to summarize this very quickly, I would say that it is a game changer, and I do not use that lightly at all. This is the John Doe 1 helmet. It is ECE 2206 and DOT approved. It's available in 9 different color options for the time being, with more to come in the future. And as of the making of this video, they are available for a starting price of £259 up to £349, depending on the color or the finish that you go for. And I will come back to that price a lot throughout this review. So I suppose the first question to answer before I get on to opening this box and actually showing you what you get inside is, why would John Doe decide to dip their toe into the helmet market when they do so well with their clothing, their jackets, their gloves, their boots, their trousers, all of which we love. We love them because they are highly rated in terms of safety rating. A lot of them are AAA approved. They're really casual looking. They just look great in general, and they're a joy to wear when you're on the bike. In short, I wear a lot of their stuff myself personally. Speaking to the guys at John Doe, they wanted to make a helmet basically that suits any kind of bike, which is a bold aspiration. Many other helmet brands have tried to do this, to go for something that may even be modular like this helmet is, so that you can adapt it and suit any kind of bike that you've got. And obviously it's great to aim for that, but a lot of these tend to fall slightly short in my opinion. They don't really specialize in either regard. And I wouldn't say this one necessarily specializes as an off-road helmet, but you can definitely wear it in that configuration. And first and foremost, it looks a lot better than the other options. Those being things like the Arai Tour X5, to give an example of a helmet that you can take off the peak and make that more of a road-focused helmet. That one is a touring helmet, so there are certain practicalities. I will admit that that one has slightly elevated, if you like, from this. But in terms of the look, it doesn't quite seamlessly blend into either camp as well as this one does, in my opinion. There's also another helmet from Visor called the Visor Rider, which again has a peak that you can attach or remove however you want to, but the fit and finish on this one is unquestionably better than that one. As explained, it is a modular helmet. You can attach a peak to this one. They have long peaks, they have short peaks. Some of the accessories you can see here, far too many for me to describe on the video. You might well get bored, so I will link those down below and you can check those out at your own leisure. But you can set this up in lots of different configurations. They've got loads of colors as well. It is highly customizable. And as far as customizable helmets go, it is one of the best that I've personally seen during my time at Urban Rider. That is, of course, where it gets the name One from. It is potentially one helmet to rule them all, the only helmet you might ever need whilst you're riding. Now, as we go through the review, I'll point out a number of things that are uncommon to find at the price point this helmet comes in at. So to refer back to that, £259, you don't often see this level of presentation. The box on this is really premium. It might sound like a small detail, but there are loads of others which I'll point out as we go through. More impressively though, you actually get 2 visors included, which is a temporary promotion. Just bear that in mind. So when we first received these, and I can't tell you exactly how long that will last, but as of the making of this video, you get it with a tinted visor and a clear visor included. And again, that is uncommon at this price. If you buy it in the future and you don't get a tinted visor though, you can obviously buy that additionally if you want to. They've got loads of different tints. The range of colors and designs are really nice, and I honestly can't see a single disgusting option in there. I was going to say Minger. I'm going to say Minger. I can't see a Minger in there at all. All of these options look great to me personally. In terms of the colors, actually, they've got 9 different options, and I have to say, although it is quite a bold choice, I really like the purple one, but they'll have more in the future as well. If you want something slightly more subtle and understated, they've got loads of other options which you can choose. You'll also find an instruction booklet in there, as well as lubricant for the visor, which is something you'll find with most helmets. And I believe you also get one of these blanking plates, so a magnetic cap, which I will come back to in a few moments. That's to stick to the outside here. If you want to take off the visor and just have it as a clean, open look, you can attach that. And like I say, I'll show you how that happens in the future. Visually, I believe they've described this as a 70s style, but It's somewhat timeless actually, and it replicates or mimics a lot of the other designs you'll see from the likes of Bell, Hedden, from Rogue, to name a few. I'm sure I'm forgetting lots. Shoei actually is another good one to describe as well. And obviously they've taken some influence from other brands, clearly they have, but actually I think what they've done just to tweak it ever so slightly has really paid off on this occasion. Super clean design. There's often something people like in terms of logos and branding. Very subtle. The only thing of note is the John Doe logo down there on the left-hand side, but it's very, very small. You can't really notice that. And the rest of it is really clean. That goes for the visor as well. You will notice though that the visor does not come with pin lock. And I asked the guys about this and they say that it is intentional. I do understand the rationale for it. In the favor of this helmet, it has an anti-fog and anti-scratch coating to the visor. And I haven't got that on my helmets, but we have used this a lot on the shoot. And I have to say, one of the most obvious places where I notice if a visor is going to mist up is when we are sat taking photos, static, not moving, and if it does not have pin lock in there, often you will notice it fog up immediately. With this one, actually, it does work, and it stopped it from fogging up. So props to them, it does work. They also say that it is good for at least 2 years, and you can clean it, which was one of my questions. You can actually clean that visor without any concerns of rubbing off that coating. And the reasons they explained they did not go with pin lock on this occasion is that the visor has a cleaner look, which I have heard before actually from Hedden, because with pin lock you actually have the pins that you can see from the outside. And if you want an ultimately clean looking visor, you get rid of that. The way that Hedden does it is they stick a layer on the inside that you can still sort of see, but actually it does stop it from fogging up. Of course, if you just go for a coating like this, then you also solve that problem. And the other thing they mentioned is that the gap between the visor and the helmet is a really tight seal, which is a really big bonus because it stops water ingress from rolling down and getting into the helmet, obviously stopping it from fogging up as well. And they said with a tight threshold like that, it was difficult to make the pin lock fit. So like I say, I understand their rationale, I understand the reasoning behind it. You will have to let us know. If you buy one of these for yourself, drop it in the comment section down below. It's a useful thing to hear from you guys as far as feedback goes. The visor mechanism works really well. It is satisfying to interact with. You have a lip on this side, very simple, and it does lock and secure down there. And then you have 3 different stages. So you have one around there, which will allow a bit of airflow through, and that's where actually I left it once we were riding around. It was the most comfortable spot for it. You get a bit of airflow through there. It is a little bit more breathable, and I like that personally. And then of course you can open it to the top, or the very top. Something else I really like about the overall design is how wide an aperture you have on the front there. Think of the Bell Bullet, which for a full face helmet has one of the biggest openings and biggest field of view of any full face motorcycle helmet. This one has a slightly thicker chin bar than the Bell Bullet. I personally prefer that because I want that extra reassurance of it being a bit chunkier. It's just psychological. It makes me think that it would be a safer helmet. It is though still really, really big. And that is in part down to the fact that they want this helmet to be coupled with goggles occasionally. And obviously if you stick goggles in there, you need a big opening so that they will actually fit. What's really useful about that though is your field of view is huge, which is great when you're riding. Because of the rubber seal though, when the visor is closed, it's actually quite a quiet helmet in comparison to some, most notably obviously things like the Bell Bullet. So it actually does close really securely. It's a tight seal between the visor and the helmet. And for a helmet of this type, it isn't the loudest that you'll find. Obviously, it's not going to be the quietest either. You haven't got a notable chin curtain on the bottom there, so airflow will find its way in. But actually, from our testing today, it's not too bad as far as noise goes. It also has great ventilation. Again, not something you can take for granted with helmets of this type. It's got vents on the forehead there that you can open either to the left or the right, depending on the size of opening that you want. So a larger channel obviously allows more airflow through, and on the reverse you have exit vents, which helps that airflow not sort of stagnate in the center there. It will suck it out the reverse and help it move a little bit quicker and obviously cool you down a bit faster as well. Obviously, one of the hardest things to get right with any helmet is going to be the fit, because we all have different head shapes, different head sizes, different face shapes as well. So trying to marry up the cheek pieces with the actual overall shape of your cranium is quite a difficult thing. So with this one, I have to say, we've tried it on with loads of people in the team. We've got a variety of different head shapes, from very round to very oval to intermediate oval, somewhere in the middle, like myself. And all of us have said that this is a comfortable helmet. It is a universal fit, sizing is accurate, and for a first go at a motorcycle helmet, that is extremely impressive. So if you've got a standard kind of European sizing, then this should fit you absolutely fine. But obviously only time will tell. We will update the size guide in the future. If we ever find out anything to the contrary, your feedback is useful in that regard as well. It has a fully removable liner. It's really comfortable, actually. It's very nice and soft. And actually, you've got a double D-ring closure around there. You have padded neckline, so that's comfortable as well. And you can change the cheek pieces, so they have a variety of different sizes. It's a bit of a game changer, actually, if you've never tried it before. If you find that you struggle to find the right exact sort of fit for a helmet, sometimes it can be as simple as just changing the cheek pieces. So for myself, I've got a big head, but quite a slim face. So I needed to go for some slightly thicker cheek pieces. So they changed them in 5mm increments, and they got a range of different sizes in there. So you can tailor this to your face a little bit better. You will also notice pockets on the inside around your ears if you want to fit an intercom system. Oh, and you'll also notice the emergency tabs as well on those cheek pieces. So in the event of a crash, if you need to get the helmet off safely, the emergency services can do that using these tabs. Now, when it comes to size and weight and shell composition, as if by magic, we are joined by other helmets here in the same category, so you can compare between the two. We have the Bell Bullet. This is the ECE 2205 version. I'm sure we are getting another version soon, but for the time being, this gives us a good comparison. We've got the Hedon Heroine as well over here, and then we've got the Shoei Glamster at the back. All of these in size medium, and actually it's comparable. I believe they said that the John Doe 1 is actually slightly slimmer than the Shoei Glamster. If there is a big difference between them, I certainly can't really tell. Let me just shuffle these around so you can actually see yourselves. But they are pretty much the same sort of size. Actually, another thing that is very uncommon at this price point is that they offer this in 4 different shell sizes. So they've got a different shell size to match each helmet size, with the exception of extra small and small that share the same outer shell, but the rest of them are all a different size. So the large in the white that I showed you before is slightly larger than this one, for example. That means that it gives a more accurate size to the outside. It means they can get away with a smaller look to the outside as well. And ultimately also means it is safer. The medium here is listed with a weight of 1,460 grams plus or minus 50 grams. So around 1,500 grams for the large. And that is a decent weight actually, and it does feel like a lightweight helmet. And actually, whilst I was out riding today, I really just forgot that it was there. The vision is that large, the weight is that light, that it just didn't get in my way at all. The outer shell is a composite, so it's a plastic reinforced fiberglass for the majority with some carbon reinforcement. They also do a more premium finish, a carbon finish, which actually the majority there is carbon with some fiberglass reinforcement. So both of them use the same materials, but the ratio is obviously different between them. Most of the helmets to my left have featured in our favorite full face motorcycle helmets in the past. The Bell Bullet probably will do again when we get the newest version of them through. And I have to say, if this had come out slightly sooner, when we made that list, this absolutely would have made it on that list, and it's a shame that it's not there. If you want to see a comparison, then you can obviously check out our top 5 full face helmets. I'll drop a link down below. It doesn't have this in there, but believe me, I would include it today. All of that, and I haven't even actually described the big party piece of this one, which is changing the visor. So I'll show you some options that you can do yourselves, and actually it is relatively simple. I say that from somebody who actually changes visors a lot when we go on shoots and gets very frustrated sometimes with certain visors when they are fiddly to operate. You can see my highly useful tool here, which is just a coin. It's a fancy coin at that, but it is just a coin all the same. So you've got a big opening there, which obviously it's a flat head. You can use a screwdriver if you want to, or just a coin if you have something to hand or something on your keys, but really, really easy. So quite a universal fit, which isn't always true of all of the helmets and the mechanisms that we come into contact with. And obviously you just do that on both sides. You've also got a continuation of the visor. so that it just looks a bit better actually on that side. So you can see with this mirrored visor, you get this little plate as well. So it just looks a lot better, a lot neater. And then just pop off the visor like so. And then of course you have these plates which you can stick on, and they're going to stick to each other because they're magnetized. But you basically just find the hole in there and then slap it in. Simple as that. So if you were going to go with goggles, you can stick these on, and then it's a really, really sleek, clean look. It's not something I've seen before, so well done, John Doe, for the innovation there. But it just makes it a lot easier to stick your goggles on. And you also have this strap at the back there for the goggle strap. Now, they also do their own goggles, which we don't have stock of as of the making of this video. I believe they told us we're going to receive them in February. Now, you can use other goggles. I mentioned that to them and they pointed out that their goggles are specifically designed for these. And on their explanation, I started to understand what they mean. So when it comes to goggles, one of the things you'll notice with certain brands at least, is if the fastening for the strap is at the center of the goggle, they will sit slightly proud of your face. So there might be 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, whatever it is, between your skin and the actual goggle itself, which means that air can find its way in there, grit, gravel can find its way in there, and I speak from experience where that's concerned. It always finds a way in, really irritating. So you want it to be a really snug fit without being uncomfortable. So they have some large goggles, they will also easily accommodate glasses, and eventually we will get them if you want to use them. Now for ourselves, we actually did try it with the Barafoldies, and they do work if you've got something for the time being, or if you just want something for the time being whilst you wait. Of course, there are options out there, but I don't think they'd thank me for mentioning that to you. I have to say though, theirs do look really good, and they are tailor-made for this helmet. The fit is perfect with this helmet, obviously because it's made specifically with this helmet in mind. So if you can wait, it's worth waiting. You can also attach a peak if you want to. And actually, where these plates are concerned, I wasn't sure how to get this off. And I haven't got long nails, so I struggled initially at least. But because it's magnetized, you just kind of press down at the back and that comes off really easily. If you want to impress me, magnets are a great way to do that. I'm a simple man, simple taste, and sometimes all it takes is something with a magnet. So when it comes to the peak, you have a variety of different options, loads of different colors. They attach in exactly the same way, and they come with pins that match the color as well. So tailor-made for each design. And it's that kind of attention to detail when it comes to the look, the aesthetic that I've come to expect, to be honest, from John Doe. They really do get the visuals, but the practical side of this is that there aren't any concessions. Normally, when a brand is too visually focused, there is some kind of a concession in there. It's not the most practical option, but it looks good. To get something that both looks good and is highly functional is a really rare thing, and that's, I think, what has impressed me the most about this helmet and why I love it so much. It's a big shake-up to the industry, and like I probably said before, for a brand that's never made a helmet before, and I think this was about 3 years in development, actually speaking to the team, they really have come out swinging and they have made something incredibly impressive. But on top of that, it's also great value for money. And I really was taken aback with the price. I had to ask my colleague a few times, mainly because I don't want to spend any more money, but I just don't see an option where I can't buy this for myself because I really do like it that much. So hopefully you agree. Let us know what you think of it in the comment section down below. Your feedback would be very useful on this occasion. If you buy one in the future and you want to drop your feedback down there as well, or just let us know, we've got reviews online. Obviously you can find that stuff there. So links for this can be found in the description, and I will see you soon. Bye.